It is the Yellow River. The yellowness of the Yellow River comes mostly from the lowest plateau, unsurprisingly called the Yellow Earth Plateau. The earth here is different from anywhere else in China. It's composed of extremely soft, fine particles. But it is around here that the earliest signs of the Chinese people have been discovered, and the genesis of a great civilization came into being. One hour's drive east of Yulin City and you arrive at the Incense Burner Temple in Jiaxian County. The temple is perched right at the edge of the cliff, high above the Yellow River. Small as it is, the temple has sat perilously here for about 400 years as the Yellow River rushed by, day and night, toward the ocean. But not all of its history is buried in the mists of time. It has a place in modern China.
In 1947, when the Communist Nationalist War reached its high point, Chairman Mao Zedong brought his army over here, right beside the Yellow River. Before he crossed the river, Mao Zedong took his time to have one cigarette here, right on this rock. Look at the place where our great leader chose to contemplate about the future of our country and people.
People living on the lowest plateau have carved out a very special lifestyle. They make their homes inside the hills and call them yaodong, or cave houses. It sounds primitive, it looks primitive, but it is really an amazing example of functional design.
It looks like a castle. Actually, it's the home of one single man.
This used to be the home of the richest landlord in the region, called Jiang Yaowu. As a rich man, Jiang Yaowu took great care that his home was strongly fortified.
The defense system here is flawless. There's no problem even the castle is besieged. It is completely self-sufficient. Look at this. It's a water supply system. People draw water from here, a 30-meter deep well. Pull it in here, and another bucket will come down from there.
Hidden away deep in the mountains, half an hour's drive from the center of Mizhi County, the Jiang family manor is clean, peaceful, and off the beaten tourist track. It took 13 years to complete, and its symmetrical layout makes the home like a work of art. Exquisite carvings of brick, stone, and wood are found all over the place, especially on its doors. The art conveys the desire for things like longevity, good fortune, and peace, like in the rest of China. The decorative carvings also reflect the owner's taste. That's why we have musical instruments, books, chessboards, paintings carved out at the entrance.
It feels so familiar, just like the courtyard house in Beijing. 你好. Yet it's so different. People build their home inside the hill, taking best advantage of their natural resources. 我能上您家里进去看看吗？
The arched roof of the cave house is a perfect marriage of aesthetic choice and architectural necessity. The old granny told me she's the granddaughter-in-law of Jiang Yawu, the first builder of the house. She's lived all of her life in homes like this.
Old stone paved floor. Ah, look at this. This is where people stole the coal here. And then they cook here. They cook here and it's like, this is called kang. It's a fire heated bed. Very common in northern China. Oh, so people cooking here. They put everything in there. Bowls, chopsticks, everything.
The one room serves as a bedroom, kitchen, and dining room all at once. Naturally, the built-in closets save space and materials.
Like the salt, that's where the salt, pepper, and garlic goes. Look at this, another discovery. This is called the cool bed. In summertime, you sleep here on the stone, and you put water here. It's like a little moat, to protect you from the little insects and bugs. What a wonderful design.
Paper cuts on the windows are a popular decoration in cave houses. Paper cutting is also a widely practiced art. I went to visit Guo Shuzhen, a 70-year-old woman in Jiaxian County, famed for her artistic scissors. She told me that she does not copy from any pattern book, but thinks up her own designs. Where did she learn the art? From her mother, of course. Where does her inspiration come from? Television and dreams. Does she use any engraving knife or chisel to do the details? No, only a pair of scissors.
See how delicate it is. You have to be very careful handling the paper cut. Well, it's just like the old handicraft itself, very fragile.
Our last stop is a visit to the ruins of Tongwancheng. They are all that remains of the capital of Daxia Dynasty, built 1500 years ago. But we couldn't resist a stop at the church along the way, in Maotuan village, Jingbian County. It's a Sunday morning. Here, in the heartland of Midwestern China, you realize how far dedicated Western priests were willing to go to spread their beliefs. In the late 19th century, a Belgian priest came here to preach and build the first church in this area. mountain village where the bishop lives, almost all of the 2,000-strong population believe in God.
Walking on the wall that's built 1,500 years ago and still
The
erect.
Tongwancheng ruins are also known as the White Stone City. The city was built with white lime powder, earth, and sand. It was initially ruled in the Daxia dynasty by the Xiongnu people, or the Huns. Its founder, King Helian Bobo, recruited more than 100,000 people to build his capital.
There is a story about the construction of the city wall. King Helian Bobo was a very brutal man, and he set up this particular rule that whenever one section of the wall was completed, someone had to try to drill a hole in it. If the driller succeeded, the builder had to die. If the driller failed, he had to die. I wouldn't volunteer for either job.
It's recorded that nearly 10,000 people died building the capital. Such a heavy price might explain why the city ruins remain standing. They are hard as stone. Ironically, with such a strong capital, the dynasty only lasted 25 years.
It seems everything here is on an epic scale. Wind is strong, landscape is vast, history is long. Throughout it all, people here have survived with their everyday thirst for life. That's all for this episode of Travelogue. I'm Liu Changying.